Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Life Lessons card of the Wheel. And as you crossed over into the Wildwood Forest yesterday, and you're trusting your intuition, you're not afraid of the fear, the first thing you come across is this loom. This loom with a green vest, however you want to look at it. All right. Is that the same green vest that's in front of you, that's on your shoulders? Or is it something new for you to pick up, to put on, to carry with you on your journey? Because this loom is just waiting for somebody to come by and pick up this garment and put it on. All right, or finish. There's still a little bit of work there to be done. But the wheel, it stands there waiting for that somebody, to pick up. And once you pick it up, you then become the weaver of your own destiny and fate. And, there's a lot of symbolism in this card, okay? Because you've got the feathers on the loom, and that represents all the air and logic of the four birds: the Kingfisher, the Swan, the Wren, and the Hawk. So, as you approach this loom and you see, the sweater or whatever it is, and you see the feathers, your mind starts to think a little bit. Okay, what is this, trying to tell me? All right, well, with the Kingfisher, he wants you to focus on things clearly. With the hawk, he wants you to act quickly. With the wren, it's more of what do you need to overcome, or the mystery of the matter. And the swan is a transition, a nourishing transition to another pond. Okay, so all four of those messages from the court cards in the arrows is letting you know, all right, that, now is the opportunity of change. And how are you going to take advantage of that change? Okay, what are you going to let go that's not serving you so change can happen? And, with that, you've also got the sun, which is up there, as well as the moon. So you have to look at your emotions, because that's what the moon represents, and the sun is your vitality. All right. In order to continue moving forward, you have to take these aspects into account. All right. Which one is going to guide you? The moon can guide you during the night. The sun can guide you during the day. All right. The other piece of that is, with the eclipse that's happening, that probably happened last night in the middle of the morning. Maybe there's, some sort of message. So watch out for your dreams. Okay, watch out for, seeing things more clearly in the sunlight, as the light shines on those hidden aspects, that you can't see during the darkness. Okay, the other thing that's very well known about this, or not well known, but, like I like to talk about, is the two trees, the hazelnut trees. All right. With those, the hazelnut trees, it's telling you about knowledge and wisdom, okay, that you're gaining. Because every time, destiny and fate come across your path, there's an opportunity to gain wisdom. There's an opportunity to gain knowledge, okay? And it's also at a deeper meaning because of all the water that's around there. Okay, now this you're walking up to this loom and it's on a lake. Okay, and in the background are three herons. Now the herons are they are the king of vessels. Okay, and you've got three of them there. Now the king of vessels, he represents, the king of emotions, but really the king of the psychic world, king of dreams. He understands how to get to the dream side in the unconsciousness. So pay attention, to the messages that are coming through subliminally, okay, as well as unconsciously. all right, with what's going on in your life. Because right now, especially with this eclipse that just happened in last night, there's a lot of change going on. The way planets are set up in the astrological sphere, all right, there's a lot of change going on with all the planets, okay, as they're moving into new signs, as they're going retrograde, coming back and forth and stuff like that. So, what this represents is, fate is changing. Destiny's changing, and it's how you accept that within, your everyday duties or within your spiritual concepts that allow you to change with that, okay? The loom represents the patterns of fate and chance, okay? Because you are the maker of your own destiny. And you can see down below right here, here's the rest of it to continue making stuff. Now, there's a lot of materialism, security, and stability within us too, because look what's holding the loom down, right? It's stones. So you've got the leadership of the logic and reasoning, communication in the air sign. You've got the king of vessels with that psychic ability, that emotional stability, all right? Being able to, understand the other world, let's say. And you got the stones giving you that security and stability. And if the one thing is constant in life, it's change. It's unavoidable, okay? We as human beings are changing every single millisecond. New cells generating new cells, generating new cells. And look what it's given you. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? You can look at pictures of yourself when you're younger and compare them to now as you're older. There's change going on that you're not even fearful of. Look at the change of the seasons. It's cyclical. Within the next couple days, summer's going to be over. I hate to say that unless you're in the other hemisphere. Summer's going to be over and we're going to be into fall. And what comes after fall? You guessed it, winter, right? And there's some areas in the world that are getting snow now, because it's just cold enough to do it. So, how do you adapt to that? I mean, think about, years ago, when the Indians were out there. They moved from, cold weather climates to warm weather climates, and they, migrated back. But they knew, they watched the seasons change. They understood the migratory patterns of birds and animals. And that let them know, hey, we need to be on the move. That's why they packed everything up. We're not like that, okay? We have these stone, brick and mortar houses, condos, whatever, and everything's inside. Everything's, all convenient. You feel safe and secure. But look at those people that are, across the world, they've got to pack everything up and move because of war or disease or getting kicked out of a country, right? Change is there. One day you're secure, next you're not. It's how you adapt to it. It's how you, approach that challenge, okay? We weave our own destiny. Nothing is predestined, according to this card. But the weaver can create their own destiny, just like, we have here. Creating your own loom. Walking up to the loom and seeing a new shirt that you can put on. The key message here, change is at hand. And with the Fool card, okay, the Wanderer, stepping across that abyss, there was change in order for that to happen. You could have been secure and stayed on the other side, but what would you have missed out? What would you have missed out on? Right? What new adventure lays before you? The one thing that's going to be constant is every time you take a step, every time you move forward, okay, on your spiritual path, something's going to change. How do you react to that? It's when you react to it, that's how it comes about. Are you going to do so thoughtfully with knowledge and wisdom, or are you going to do so in a low vibration mode of angry, hurt, mad? None of those are going to help you. You want to embrace the change that's happening because it's going to be good for you. It's an opportunity to learn something new, to gain more wisdom. Okay? Your own actions change your life. And it's just being at peace and taking it all at one time. Taking it in stride. You don't have to, bite it off in chunks. Just understand a little bit here, a little bit there. Look at your relationships and how they've changed over the years. The friends that you had back in school, in elementary, are they the same that you have in high school? Possibly. Are they the same that you had in college? Possibly. But all those people, they've got their lives to live, and change has happened. All right? Look at your relationship with your significant other and the change that over the years. Has it grown or has it not grown? Same thing at work. Remember that first day that you were there? Compare it to where you are now. Look at your development within your relationship, within your work situation. You've changed. The job has changed. You've adapted well with it. So, as we continue to move on this next step of our quest, or next step of our journey, okay, keep this in mind as you're wearing, this vest. Change is inevitable. And you can, when the problems come up, when the obstacles come up, it's how you handle that allows you to change that destiny and the fate. It allows you to continue moving forward, to understand the knowledge and the wisdom that the universe and spirit has for you. So you can grow. So you can continue on your spiritual journey moving forward. So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Wheel. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, give me a thumbs up. And this is Dee from the Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.